Hey there, everyone. Today in this video, we're going to talk about how you can learn faster using the Richard Feynman technique or the Feynman technique. Richard Feynman is a famous physicist and a very brilliant learner and teacher. He was able to simplify everything to where, like, even if you are not a physicist yourself, you could understand exactly what he was talking about. So in the video, I'll give you 4 steps that will really help you to learn deeper and be able to apply more of what you learn and be able to maybe even teach better if you're a teacher, or just become amazing at learning, basically. So let's get into this video and I'll explain the 4 tips and give you some examples as well. So the first thing, just like almost anything in life, we need to learn about something, right? If you want to get better at something, you need to learn about it. So study something that interests you. You could do that through reading. You could do that through watching videos, basically anything that will help you to learn and study about what you want to learn about and improve in your life, and dig deeper into that. Break it down and try to think about, okay, what are the specific areas that I want to study about this? Read a few books, watch some videos, and just acclimate yourself to that particular subject. And then we'll go on to the next step. The next step is a pretty cool one because, I think a lot of us do this naturally, especially people on YouTube or on Instagram, or people who like to do presentations or something like that. Basically, this second thing is to explain, teach, or present about what you have learned. And this can be tricky because whenever you're explaining to someone, especially if it's a complex topic, you have to try and break it down and simplify it. That way, this person can understand. Now, let's say you are not a big fan about, like, maybe creating videos or posting on social media or anything like that. You could keep this private. You could write in a journal about what you've learned, or you could maybe film yourself but not actually publish it, right? So this does not have to be public, but I believe, just from my personal experience and seeing a bunch of other people, content creators out there, actually putting your thoughts out there helps you to learn better, because then you can see the feedback and get the reaction from the people. And this actually goes on to the third point, but hold on, I won't touch on that quite yet. But it goes on to the third point, basically. Well, okay, might as well go on to it. Is to identify those gaps. So, like, if someone that you explain to is a bit confused about what you just said, that means you need to look at, the way that you're explaining, and maybe you have some flaws, maybe you have some errors, maybe you need to dig deeper, or just try to reword what you have tried to explain or tried to teach to that other person. So, as a teacher for the past 11 years, I've felt this personally, that whenever I'm teaching a topic, of course, I have to try to break this topic down in an explanation that all my students can understand and grasp. So maybe for you, you've also felt this. If you're a content creator, or maybe you teach classes, or you have a workshop, you have probably felt this as well. And if you're not a teacher and you're not a content creator, then maybe give this a try whenever you're trying to learn or improve on something about yourself. Then try teaching, try presenting, maybe create a channel to where you can put your what you've learned out there. This is extremely helpful in the learning process. So step number 2, definitely cannot go without teaching or presenting, whether that's public or private. This will really help you to understand and grasp what you are learning. So, as I mentioned just a little bit ago, yes, step number 3 is to identify the gaps. So that comes in very handy when you're actually presenting to someone, because then they can tell you if they have any more questions, or maybe while you're explaining, you yourself will come up with more questions and like, hey, I didn't think about this before. If you're just having like a one-on-one conversation with someone, they might spur some ideas in your mind and be like, oh, I never thought about this. So, okay, now I need to dig deeper into this aspect to fill in those gaps that are missing. And, there's plenty of resources out there that we can dig into. There's scientific journals, there's books, there's YouTube videos. So we have all these resources. There's people we can talk to. So yeah, definitely try to find those gaps and then dig deeper. This process can take a long time. I mean, the Feynman technique is not necessarily a quick process, although yes, it helps you to learn faster or more effectively and efficiently. But the process, it can take years. It depends on what you're studying and what you're trying to improve on in your life. So yeah, it's definitely an important step. Number 3 is to find those gaps and dig deeper and continue to break it down. And the last step here, number 4, is really just to simplify and refine further. Like I said, learning is just a continuous process. So like there is no such thing as really perfection, so to say. We are always moving towards perfection, but nothing can ever really be perfect. So simplify and refine further, continue to experiment with what you're learning on. If it's something that you're really interested in and love, and continue to branch out and study the gaps, study the information that you feel would benefit this particular area of knowledge that you're working on, or skill or something like that you're working on. And if you think about like all these famous thinkers like Einstein or Da Vinci, like these people spent their lives working on this stuff. They spent their very long time working on it. And their published or unpublished works, yeah, some of them were very complex, but others, like especially when speaking with other people in public or whatever, they were able to simplify the concepts. They were able to draw the concepts out so that people could understand them. Just like Richard Feynman, right? If you watch some of his old videos or read some of his older work, you can see how much energy he puts into his work, and see how much thought he puts into trying to explain something that is complex, yet simplifying it. I think Elon Musk might be another example. He just tries to simplify the things that he has learned and done in his life, and does it in a way that, yeah, the general public can really understand it. So this concept is a framework that I use all the time with the books that I read, and the neuroscience that I'm working on, the book that I'm writing. It's a challenge sometimes to simplify a complex topic, especially as complex as our human brain. So yeah, I mean, I really hope that these 4 tips have really helped you out, and that you could try to experiment with this and apply in your life. And if you do end up creating some sort of a channel on YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or something like that, please let me know. Let us know in the comments and be like, hey, I'm learning about this particular topic. Let us know what you're learning about in the comments. Let's create a conversation about this. And yeah, you could even just use the comment section on YouTube or on Instagram to try and teach something, right, to other people. Carrying on a conversation is a great way to do that, or through WhatsApp or whatever it may be. Okay, so definitely subscribe to the Bookmatic YouTube channel, and I will include some links down below as well for like my free newsletter that talks about this type of stuff. In fact, actually, one of the newsletter posts was about the Feynman technique. So I just thought, hey, if I create a video about it, reach different people. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing. So check that out, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everyone.